Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to Chad scale Black Friday, Cyber Monday week. Now, we're going to be diving into three different pillars to achieve the scale that you're trying to hit. We're trying to hit 100K days. There's actually some members inside of the Discord that are already hitting 100K days, which is absolutely bonkers. Currently, we're sitting at around 20K days. You can see we're here at about 3 p.m. at around 10K for some social proof. Now, how are we actually going to achieve the goals that we have for Black Friday, and how do you actually Chad scale this shit? First and foremost, spend is going to be the number one factor. I'm going to just write down here, you need to spend directly in proportion to your ROAS, right? So your average ROAS. So if you're on average hitting a 2 return on ad spend, you're going to need to spend $10,000 to hit 20,000. You're going to have to spend 50,000 to hit 100,000 on a daily basis. How can you actually track this? One of my favorite methods is to utilize a pacing sheet. I actually have one that I created here for you guys to be able to utilize, and you can completely change this to fit your business. I'm going to quickly speed run through how to actually do that. First, you're going to want to go into this ad spend level and change these percentages based on how much ad spend you're spending on each channel. Typically, we're spending about 50% plus on Facebook, 20% on TikTok, 20% on Google, maybe 10% on Snapchat. Again, if this is different for you, feel free to adjust it. Ideally, you want this to be at 100%. That's how it's going to calculate it properly. Next, you're going to want to go into this estimated total spend, and you're going to want to adjust this to whatever your current daily spend is. You can see we currently have here November 24th for the start of the BFCM week, which is this upcoming week. And you're going to want to go into here and put the estimated total spend that you're going to be having for that Monday. Now, if we're trying to hit 100K days, we're likely going to need to be spending at least 20,000 at the beginning of this upcoming week. And you can see this sheet will automatically change the pacing at about a 20% daily increase in scale. Now, I want to make sure you understand you can get more aggressive during this time of the year because there is more intent. And what this sheet is doing is, again, putting 20% increase in scale on a daily basis. If you would like to change this, you can just go in here and change this from 20%. Let's just say you want to go 30%, be more aggressive, or 40%, be even more aggressive. During this period, you can. I'm including 20% as a safety, kind of like a safe scaling approach. In terms of target return on ad spend, that's what you want to plug into here. And what you're going to see is this is going to automatically populate based off of how much you need to spend on each channel. Every single day, as you're scaling, you want to go through here and you're going to see exactly what your target spend is going to be, which is going to allow you to properly spend that on each channel. Now, I do want to talk on what campaign structures are currently crushing and what I would recommend for you guys to actually have inside of your ad accounts in order to be able to achieve the scale you're trying to. First structure that I want to tie on is going to be the ABS structure. Now, I did tie on this a bunch of times, and we've spent on multiple different ABS structures hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll just go ahead and show you guys the basic structure here so you can see what I mean. So the structure for an ABS is going to be a very inflated budget on the campaign level. This is going to be about 100. You want to have it 100 and probably 100 plus thousand on the budget. And this is going to be restricted with bid caps as well as max spend. You want to make sure that your maximum spend here is what you're comfortable spending on a daily basis. And this is going to be what you're going to be adjusting to increase scale. Now, what I like to do is I like to have an ABS campaign that is stacked with all of your top performing content, as well as new urgency-based copy for specifically the Black Friday push. I like to set my bid caps here at $10 to $15 above my break-even cost per acquisition. And then I like to adjust the bid. Let's just say it's not spending at all. Adjust it higher. If it starts hitting 100% of your maximum spend, it means you're bidding too high and you want to pull it down. Now, I do have another video on the channel that shows exactly how to get this campaign set up, so I'm not going to waste your time. If you want to watch that, you're welcome to. But this would be my number one recommendation for a scaling structure for BFCM. Now, this campaign structure is currently working on multiple accounts that I'm involved in. I just wanted to demonstrate here one that is currently very aggressively scaling. You can see last 30 days, it went from spending like $300 a day to currently spending about $10,000 a day. To actually ensure that the spend you're pushing out is profitable, I want to dive into creatives, what type of creatives to inject and how to actually prevent fatigue at high scale during this upcoming week. Now, the type of creatives that you want to be injecting, especially during this period, are going to be loads of really low end of the funnel pieces of content. This is going to be statics that are offer and urgency focused, as well as social proof focused. I want to go through a few examples with you guys here. One of the ones that I've continued to recommend to everybody is this very simple grid style piece of content where you showcase product, you mention what the offer is, and it's extremely simple. We have urgency based copy on top here. Another style of content that I want you guys to test inside of your accounts is going to be very native story style content. You can literally create these directly inside of your Instagram app where you take a really raw photo of your product, you post it, you edit it on your Instagram app, and you put on top of that a very simple native text overlay that is going to position the content as a social proof piece of content. This type of content is absolutely crushing it right now. I would highly recommend that you guys inject it. For copy, you can do something very simple where it seems like a third party is mentioning the brand and thanking the brand for the product. You can see here, thank you Pup Ring for my beautiful necklace so I can always have my babies with me. Again, multiple variations of this type of content absolutely crush. I want to showcase a few styles of text that I would recommend you guys use. This type of native this type of native Instagram white background with text on it works really well. So does this transparent one that we looked at. So does ones without a background like this. Those are a few examples. Highly recommend you inject these. In terms of how many do you want to be injecting during this upcoming week, so I'll just go ahead and put here how many you want to inject, and the answer is truthfully going to be as many as possible. As you increase scale, your returns on your top of funnel pieces of content are going to go down, and you need to fill that awareness with lower end of the funnel content. I would really recommend that you guys are injecting this upcoming week at least 20 to 30 new statics that are really low end of the funnel that are playing on urgency, offer, and social proof. Before I go further, I did want to mention this is the last time I will be offering a public one-on-one mentorship for $1,000 a month. If you're interested in working directly with myself, you can opt in on the ecom.live/pricing page. Tying into our third pillar here, we're going to have narrative. Now, what is narrative, you might be asking? Narrative is going to be the offer, the urgency, and the story that we are telling people for the period we are pushing. If we go back to the pacing sheet here, you can see that we have multiple different angles and narratives that we can play during this period. We obviously have Black Friday, which is going to be the biggest one that we're all going to be pushing. After Black Friday, we have Small Business Saturday that is going to be on November 29th. We have Early Cyber, which is typically on that Sunday, and then we have Cyber Monday. So these are 4 different narratives that you can play during this upcoming week. Now, how do you actually play these? You want to have it synchronized across the board from your ads that you're running, from the emails that you're sending, from the SMSs that you're sending, as well as from what you're mentioning on your site. You want it to all be tied to the narratives that you're pushing. And during this period, you want to move quickly. So for Black Friday, you want to have a bunch of Black Friday ads that are going to be injected this upcoming week that you're going to be able to push for that narrative. Right after Black Friday, I would highly recommend taking the top styles of statics that are working during this upcoming week and having that copy transition over to Small Business Saturday, then having those exact same working styles again changed again to be for Early Cyber Monday and for Cyber Monday. I want to be very clear when I say this. Absolutely any Facebook ad structure can scale during this period. Simply, you have to understand what are the goals that you're trying to hit, which can be identified and plotted out inside of the pacing sheet. And then you need to ensure that that ad spend is properly being spent at the average return on ad spend that you're getting so that you can be hitting those goals. If you're interested in scaling live with a bunch of 7 to 8 figure operators, this Black Friday, we're going to be having a live session inside of the Discord group where we're going to be sharing our screens and directly scaling everything live together. If you're interested in that, it's going to be inside of the public Discord, linked in the description. I did want to touch base on how to actually surf during this time period. There's obviously many different ways to surf based off of the campaign structures that you guys are running, but I want to give you kind of the general idea so that you can take that and run with it with your individual campaign structures. If you're running an ABS campaign that we were talking about earlier, you're going to want to be increasing the max spend multiple times a day. Typically, every 2 hours, I will be looking at the campaign and asking myself, is it making money? If the campaign is making money, if the ad set is making money, I will be quite literally doubling the budget every 2 hours. At the end of the day, you want to bring that budget back to roughly what it spent. So again, for an ABS, we're going to be manipulating the max spend on that ad set. If you're utilizing lowest cost, highest volume, you're going to not be having to worry about the max spend, but you're going to be manipulating the actual budget itself. That's what I have for you guys today. I have a bunch of other content on Ecom Live on how to actually surf. So if you go over to Ecom Live and you just type surf inside of the search bar, you're going to see a bunch of examples of me directly inside of the ad account surfing different structures. Highly recommend going and taking a look at those, as well as all the content from previous Black Friday periods. If you type in Black Friday, you can see solving different Black Friday ads. If you type in Q4, you can see a bunch of different Q4 videos on pacing, on problem solving different Q4 problems, and actually achieving the scales that we're trying to achieve. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out directly to me inside of the group chat. Just tag me and I'm happy to help. Take care.